Hello, world. My name is Valentine, and welcome to a conversation with Greatmilestone. Let me mute my own channel there. And we're going to have a conversation about a topic that he was talking about last night in Christian Anarchist's room. I have no hope that this conversation will be productive in any way, but fun is fun, right? Hold on one second. Sorry. So if you've ever been in a conversation with me before, lately, you know that I have been mostly unhappy with the community in general because I'm just bored mostly.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Yeah. And so
Do other things outside the community.
Yeah, I've been doing something lately just to give myself that little bit of ease and to quit when things to quit when I start getting really bored or just don't care anymore. So Stock, I want you to listen to this. Normally, when I talk to somebody, I give somebody a base score of 300 points. When you do something that pisses me off, you do a logical fallacy, you lie, you're dishonest in any way, whatever the case may be, I roll a random die. That random number gets subtracted from your base score of 100 points. Once you reach 0, the conversation is over regardless of where it's going. That's simply because I don't want to carry on a boring ass conversation for hours on end. But I'm going to be a little generous today because I feel like having fun, and I'm going to give you a base score of 300. Once you reach 0, though, the conversation is over no matter what. Now, as always, I invite people to do the same thing to me. I don't care. Whatever gets the conversation to end eventually.
Yeah, this still doesn't go on forever. But I'm pretty sure he'll be pretty logical.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one's going to be super logical. I can see it coming already. Stock, I don't know if you're familiar with Atheist Trill. He is not an atheist like I am. He likes to call himself a misotheist, which I think is just plain stupid, but whatever.
Hey, it makes sense. There's no other real good label for what I am.
Yeah. And you know what, Trill, just for fun, I'm going to give you 300 points too, just in case. Just in case. And then Christian Anarchist, if you're out there, I asked if you wanted to join this. Let me know if you do. I think Stock would like to continue that conversation with you as well, if he lasts that long. So Stock, you there, man?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, did you get the link? I sent it to your email.
All right. Well, I'm going to see if I got it. I am not going to read it during this conversation. I will read it after. I do not have it yet. I'm sure I'll get it any second now.
Hold on.
This better be the only thing that ever gets sent to my email, too. Mostly because I get too much shit sent to my email, which I never check for anything. And I just don't want another emailer added to my list. So Trill, before while he's doing that, based on what you were told,
you should have it now.
You
should have it. You should.
Yeah, it looks like I got it. All right, I will read it after the conversation, not during, because I'm not wasting people's time like that. Trill, based on what me and Christian told you about this conversation last night, what are your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts is that it's just another one of those silly interpretation things. I've heard this like a million times before with other things. Like, is Sunday actually a Sabbath, or is Saturday actually a Sabbath? A whole bunch of other weird things too. It just depends on how you interpret it. And then, yeah, I find a lot of these conversations kind of silly, like in my opinion, because unless you're willing to go back to the original manuscripts and really study Hebrew and Greek culture to understand what it was like at the times, a lot of these things, without any of that knowledge, are kind of unanswerable.
Yeah,
and I'd even argue things even with that knowledge. Some of them, the ones that are vague enough, even some of those are unanswerable.
Yeah, and that's a See, that's what I don't get about people who are so faithful to their book. I don't get it when there are so many denominations centered, like 2,000 in the United States alone. When there's that many denominations centered around a single book, all interpreting the same book different ways, and they all tell you that, oh, they're interpreting it wrong, we've got it right, and none of them are thinking, oh, maybe because this book is so open to interpretation, maybe it's wrong. But no.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I would just say, as far as the whole book thing goes, is that you need to look at the actual historical context and stuff. The problem is people treat the Bible like English, like the English edition that people read nowadays, all these versions that we read nowadays, that was the original text back in the day. No, it wasn't. This is like a translation from like what the original text says, and sometimes things don't transfer into English as well as they should. Sometimes there is a little bit of poetic language used because even we as humans right now, when we talk, we don't talk all literally. So you expect the people back then to talk all literally too.
Oh,
So
no,
just
I would
things
agree.
like that. Yeah, so just little things like that, and then historical context, like what certain things meant in the day, might no longer mean the same thing as they do now. Just little things like that people don't think about. They treat it like back in the day when Jesus walked on the earth, that that was basically just like America as it is today. Like, no, it wasn't. They had different traditions. They didn't think the same way as we do, and some of these laws and some of the way that some of these things are written in there, it might make more sense if you actually went back and looked into the historical stuff. But a lot of people don't bother to do that, and that's where we come up with half these translation errors because people see.
But let's jump into the crux of this. Stuck. You believe that Jesus had 2 birthdays, yes? Take your time. I know it's hard.
Yes.
Okay. What does it mean to have 2 birthdays?
Well, I just sent you the link, so you can probably just paraphrase what I wrote.
Okay, 2 things. You're getting a roll for both things. Try that again. 17 from the first one, 13 from the second. Let me calculate that real quick there. You're already at 270, doing great. Anyway, so first thing is, I told you I'm not reading it until after the conversation because I'm not going to be wasting people's time. And from what I've been told about it, it's not even a book. It's like an 8-page leaflet. So it's probably going to be wasting my time anyway. The second thing is...
I got right to the point. I got right to the point.
No, you did not get right to the point because you asked me to read it and then get to the point for you. That's not what you're supposed to do. I asked you what it meant to have 2 birthdays, and he immediately ran.
Or maybe he just had a connection issue.
Well, let's find out. Let's see if I can,
But you know what you could do? I was actually expecting maybe he'd bring up some Bible verses, and you can easily look them up on Bible Gateway.
Yeah, I was hoping for at least that. At least that. Let's see.
Because you could search up like the King James Version pretty easily. But he didn't bring up any verses, so I'm gonna get him on that. Because there's nothing that explicitly says that Jesus was born on 2 days. I mean, again, it's all interpretation thing. Like they take something that's worded just vague enough that you can do that kind of thing with it.
I hope he doesn't try to say that he got kicked or anything, because he does realize that this was being recorded, right?
Oh yeah. Well, he can't say it because, you didn't kick him. I mean, he could, but sure doesn't look like it.
Let me see. But in the meantime, while we're waiting to see if we get a reply, should I take a look at this little leaflet?
You could.
Let's see here.
Might as well. So that way he can't say you didn't do it.
Yeah, shut up. Okay, well, that didn't work out. Let me try that again. There we go. Oh my, this is not a book. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages long. There you are, Stock. There you are, Stock. So, Stock, what does it mean to have 2 birthdays?
So I mean, I'm on the G-Man's hangout, and you're hanging out at the same time. I thought you guys were friends with G-Man, so you want to do a show at the same time.
Nah.
No.
Why would
kidding me?
Why would you want to be in Gary's hangout?
He's what?
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like you, but why would you want to be in there?
Because all he does is try to debunk us, Black Hebrew Israelites. That's all he does.
Well, if you don't give any information, then there's nothing to debunk.
Yeah, so it's kind of useless. Same old conversation. According to Christian anarchists, he doesn't even do that good a job at actually even debunking you guys in the first place.
Okay, so Stock,
Yeah,
what does it mean to have 2 birthdays?
I think it's better if I go to G-Man's hangout, you review the text, and then we do a discussion about it after you review the text.
Okay, do you know the information in the text?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it yesterday with your buddy, what's his name? Antichrist?
No, Christian anarchist.
He pretty much said that Luke mistranslated his version of the birth of Christ.
What Christian said, I was there. I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Do you know the information in the leaflet that you gave me?
Yeah, what we'll do is you review the text, and then we'll do a discussion about it.
Ask for this conversation. I can screen.
Yeah, but I wanted to talk. I talked to Sorrel. You guys are cool with Sorrel, right?
I only met him for the first time last night.
No, I'm not.
Last night was the first time.
Barely any theists here. You're talking to the wrong person. You're not. This isn't a debate between you and Christians here. This is a debate between you. And
I don't want to know about. I don't want to know about Christian anarchists. I don't want to know about Gary. I don't want to know about the other guy. You're here with me. Have a conversation with me. I don't want to know what they have to say. Now, did you?
Yeah, me and Sorrel have a debate set up for tomorrow, actually at 10 o'clock. But I thought you guys were cool. I thought you and Sorrel were cool. I didn't know.
Okay, but did you or did you not ask for this conversation? I mean, I can see if he wants to come in, if I can find him.
Well, no, we're doing something tomorrow, so probably not tonight.
Okay. Now, as for this conversation here, did you or did you not ask for this conversation? And again, I can screen share because I have it up.
Well, I want because we talked. Vakel was in the chat room last night. He's actually in the other chat room.
That's not what I asked.
He's actually on G-Man's hangout right now.
Answer the question. Did you or did you not ask for this conversation?
Yeah, I want to talk about Isaiah the 7th chapter, and I wanted you to review my work.
Okay, you only sent me the work after this hangout started, so I don't care. The work will have to wait until after the show.
Okay, so let's do this another day after you review the text.
Okay, so you don't know the information in your text, right?
Well, we talked about this yesterday, so do I really have to reiterate what I said yesterday?
Do you know the information in your text? It's a simple question, yes or no?
Yes, well, okay, well, here we go. Herod died, King Herod was an Edomite. My volume goes in and out, I'm sorry. King Herod was an Edomite. If you read Genesis 25 and 27, Esau was Jacob's brother. They had the same father, Isaac, and the same mother. He died in 4 BCE. So Jesus in the book of Matthew was born around 7 or 6 BCE, right before Herod died. So he was born right before Herod died, around 7 or 6 BCE. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
In the book of Luke, Jesus is being born during the time of Archelaus, who in 6 AD, who was the son of Herod. During the first census by Cyrenius in 6 AD. During the time of Archelaus. So he has 2 birthdays, one in 7 BCE, or 6 BCE, and then one in 6 AD, 12 years apart from one another.
Okay. Now,
That's the basis of the argument. The basis. Now, Antichrist told me that
Christian
according to his research, Luke mistranslated. Luke was misinterpreting something. You know, he went off, so to speak, as we say all the time. He went off. You know what I mean? So he's saying that the book's not infallible. The Bible's not infallible, and Luke is incorrect. The Matthew account is correct, but the Luke account is incorrect.
Okay, so what does it actually mean to have two birthdays?
Well, the question is, was he born in the text? If you review the text, was he born in 6 or 7 BCE? Or was he born in 6 AD, 12 years later? Which one was it?
We can discuss that in a second. I asked you a question about what you're talking about. What does it mean to have two birthdays?
I don't understand what you're asking. I'm not sure what you're asking me. I don't understand what you mean.
What does it mean? How hard is that? What does it mean to have two birthdays? Is it significant?
Well, it challenges that this guy even exists. Did he exist? Because if he had two birthdays, did he even exist is the question.
Okay, so are you telling me that you don't believe Jesus existed?
Well, St. Augustine and other scholars record him, but I know the account of Josephus, the first century Jewish scholar, it was forged. The Christians put it in there, Jesus' name in the text. So, you know, this kind of segues to my background as a rabbi. My name is Rabbi Lewis. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So yeah, you know, we of course believe that the so-called blacks in America, the so-called Negroes, are Israelites, are the direct descendants of the Jews from Palestine who fled into West Africa, where they got picked up on slave trade, in the slave trade. That a minority of the West Africans got picked up in the slave trade.
Hold on. I don't need to know all that. I asked just, do you believe Jesus existed? A simple yes or no would suffice. I don't need a whole explanation.
Right. Well, I mean, it's related to what I'm speaking about. According to my research, the Israelites weren't even in the land during the time of Jesus Christ's birth. So he couldn't have been an Israelite because we weren't in the land at that time. Esau was ruling the land. Esau was the Edomites were the kings over the land, and the Romans were ruling. And Titus and Vespasian destroyed the temple in 70 AD, and we weren't in the land at that time.
Stop. I don't care. It's a yes or no answer. Do you believe Jesus existed?
He could have existed, but it looks like he didn't. I mean, from my research, he could have existed, yes, but it looks like he didn't exist.
Okay. Well, then finally there's something that we agree on. I don't believe he existed either.
Right. Now, okay. Yeah.
Are you telling me that based on the fact that the Bible seems to indicate that Jesus had two birthdays, that is a logical fallacy in the Bible?
Yeah. According to your buddy, Luke was wrong. Luke mistranslated the text, or he just was wrong. He was just straight up wrong, you know, about what he wrote. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's suggest that Luke was wrong. Either one of them could be wrong, or both. But let's suggest that Luke was wrong.
Well, there was the first census started in 6 AD by Cyrenius.
I wasn't finished.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. See, Stock, this is really simple. If I want an explanation, I'll ask for it. You don't have to go into a random explanation that isn't needed.
Okay.
Really simple. It's not hard. But let's suggest that Luke was wrong and Matthew was right. Would that not then suggest that Jesus would have one birthday?
Well, yes, that would. Yes.
Okay. Now, is it possible that the Bible got this one thing wrong and that Jesus did actually have one birthday, and it is possible that he existed?
It's possible, but the history lends credence to the 6 AD date rather than the Matthew date, which they say it's forged. They said that it's made up. It's made up. The Bethlehem account is made up, according to the Roman scholars.
I didn't ask which one you thought was made up or which day you thought was the birthday.
Right. Well, according to scholars, because the focal point of the argument, the counter argument is that there were two censuses, one in 7 BCE, one in 6 AD, and according to the book of Urantia And Christian sources, there were two censuses, both by Cyrenius, one in 7 BCE, one in 6 AD, but there's no Roman records for the first census of 7 BCE. It's only the only record that the Romans recorded was the 6 AD census. So the Roman scholars, write it off as myth, to support the Bethlehem story in Matthew.
Okay. Stock, I think this conversation was a mistake, and let me tell you why. Okay.
Yeah.
I now think that there's no reason to have a conversation with you because you last night were A, not very clear, and B, had a hard time giving information, which led me to believe that you believe that Jesus exists and he had 2 birthdays, which is confusing as all fuck because nobody actually believes that. But now you're telling me that Jesus did not exist, probably, and that one of the reasons you believe that is because of the 2 birthday thing. 2 possible birthdays because of the
Also, if you understand the Jewish motif, the biblical motif.
I don't need an explanation because I think I understand you. Okay, but because of this logical fallacy in the Bible is one reason why you believe that Jesus didn't exist. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
And I don't know what else to talk about because we agree.
No, wait a minute though, because he doesn't quite agree the same as you do. He still thinks God exists in that. He's a Hebrew Israelite, basically.
Right. Well, yeah, non-messianic Hebrew Israelite.
Let's try this. I saw some. I didn't watch many of your videos. I only watched the one about the book, and I watched the Hitler one. Those are the only 2 I watched. Now I gotta ask you.
Yeah, I think Gio did a video about that. I don't know if you got it from me or someone else.
No, it was on your channel. One of the videos on your channel.
Yeah, I think G-Man, he did a video about that, the Hitler thing as well. I don't know if you got it from me or not.
I don't know. I don't care.
It was on your
Okay.
channel.
The first thing is I had a problem with that video. Okay.
Right.
The first is it's boring as all fuck, but that's beside the point. The second is that there are no references, no sources, and ultimately no reason to believe that Hitler ever said that.
Well, if you do the history, Hitler himself was an Edomite, which the Edomites are the mortal enemies of the Hebrew God Yahweh, or we call him Yahweh. He was an Edomite, you know what I mean? Himself.
Well, how do you know that? I mean, he identified in his own literature that he wrote as a Catholic.
Yeah, I believe he was the illegitimate son of one of the Rothschilds, which is one of the elite banking families. Of course, I'm sure you've heard of them. He was an illegitimate son of one of the Rothschilds, I believe Evelyn Rothschild, and they are Edomites. They are actually Edomites, bloodline Edom, which is Edomites are the ones that are hated by God all throughout the Bible. In the book of Romans, Amos, the first chapter, the book of Malachi.
Okay, I get it. Yeah. They're hated by God. That's all you have to say. How do you know that?
Right.
How do you know that?
And they're prophesied to be destroyed. In eschaton, in fact, in the Bible dictionary, it tells you that Esau figures prominently in the biblical eschatology. In biblical eschatology, they figure prominently. So some people teach that they're wiped out as a nation. Well, this is not accurate at all, actually.
Well, that's not what I asked. I asked, how do you know that Hitler was one of these people?
Well, according to the history, he was the legitimate son of one of the Rothschilds, which they were Edomites, like I said. Reiterate what I said. Yeah.
How do you know that?
Various works. I believe it was called Behold the Pale Horse, the book, Behold the Pale Horse. There's a couple other books as well. I can't remember right now, but there's a couple other books.
Okay, and what do those books say?
That he was the illegitimate son of one of the Rothschilds, which the Rothschilds is one of the 13 families of the Illuminati. If you ever heard of the Illuminati, the secret societies that run the banking system and the currency system. Yeah, I think there's a book called Satan and His Angels. I believe it expounds on that. There's a few other works as well.
Okay,
I see where this is going.
I don't understand why you would think that he's the illegitimate son of anybody, because I'm looking at it right here. He had a mother and a father who were both Catholic.
I mean, teach some places to study because it depends on what work you read. But apparently he was an Edomite. He was an Edomite, and I think he had found out. He did his genealogy, and he found out that he was black or Phoenician going back in his bloodline. He was actually black.
In the history of our bloodline, that's beside the point.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. I mean, sure, he wasn't exactly as Aryan as he tried to make the world.
Well, actually, I don't know if everyone's black because I just wrote a book a couple months ago called "Where Do White People Come From?" You can find it on new.com.
Hold on. Is this another book like the one you gave me? Because that's not a book. That's a 4-page leaflet.
Yeah. It's a leaflet. I wrote it a few months ago. It's called "Where Do White People Come From?" I got right to the point, and I show where biblically where white people come from.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
Come from aliens.
That's a whole different tangent. But I want to know what works you read and what they said, because I'm looking at it here. Adolf Hitler in Mein Kampf and other works, in his speeches and everything, he proclaimed himself as a Catholic, and he aligned himself with the Protestants of Germany and the Protestant churches of Germany to be able to fund his party and the war. His parents are self-proclaimed Catholics. So what did you read and what did they say to come to the point that he's an Edomite or whatever it's called? Because so far I think you're either lying or you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, this is it. Actually, I'm reading this Wikipedia article on him. It's called Alois Hitler, Alalois Hitler, and it tells you that circulating stories in the 1920s about Hitler's alleged Jewish ancestry, including one about Baron Rothschild.
Okay, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. Where are you looking at?
Just go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Where in the
type in Alois Hitler, Alois Hitler.
What page are you looking?
Just type in on Google Hitler Rothschild.
I'm looking at the page. Where in the page are you looking?
Hold on.
I didn't think this would be a conspiracy theory hangout.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Wow, I guess I'm gonna run into those sooner or later.
Yeah, so.
You see where it says biological father?
Yep. Let's see here. What does this say?
Scroll down, it says Alois' son Adolf, following the rulers of his patrilineal grandfather, was a Jew. In 1931, you see, you read on from there.
Okay, Alois. Okay, you obviously didn't read this because it completely diminishes your point immediately after that. Alois' son Adolf, following the rumors of his paternal grandfather was a Jew, in 1931 ordered the SS to investigate the alleged rumors regarding his ancestry. They found no evidence of any Jewish ancestors. Did you read that?
There's another part to it. It says Kershaw City, several stories circulating in the 1920s about Hitler's alleged Jewish ancestry.
Did you read what I just read?
In fact, the scholar Icky wrote a book. Scholar David Icky was Hitler Rothschild. You can check that work out.
Okay, did you read what I just read?
Yeah, I mean, there's various opinions on whether on the ancestry of Hitler.
No, okay, whether or not Hitler had Jewish blood in his veins is not a matter of opinion. It is a matter of fact. Either he did or he didn't. Okay. As of what you showed me right here, he does not have Jewish blood.
We could check out David Ickey's work.
What did he say?
I'm not sure. I didn't read it. I know.
Okay,
But
if you
they
didn't
write a
read
book
it,
about
then
that.
don't use it. If you didn't read it, don't use it. It's a waste of time. You're lucky you're rolling a lot of ones tonight.
I mean, I'm sure he pretty much is going to say what I said. Like, I checked it out.
No,
So
you didn't read it, so you can't use it. If you don't know what's in the material, you can't use it because then you're straight up lying about it.
Otherwise, you're just kind of assuming there might be things inside that work that actually might not be
If you
there.
haven't read it, then you can't use it because then you are straight up lying about it.
well, I'll be honest. I can't substantiate it 100%. So like, we'll drop that argument. We'll drop that argument for now.
Okay, can't substantiate the claim, which means you're wrong about it until you can substantiate about it. Okay, we'll move on.
Yeah, we'll leave that. We'll leave that alone. But I mean, that's a little bit of.
What's sad is that you devoted your time to write a 4-page leaflet about it, and you don't even know anything about it. All right.
No. My book has nothing to do with Hitler. There's nothing to do with Hitler. It's about where do white people come from? What son? Because Noah, the biblical patriarch, had 3 sons: Ham, Shem, and Japheth.
Mm-hmm.
So what son do white people come from? It depends on who you ask. The Hebrew Israelites teach that they come from Esau.
You cut out again.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Yeah. Now the ISUPK, the West groups teach that Esau was white, while other groups teach that Japheth was white. So I explore both ideas, and I offered some understanding.
So, are you telling me that throughout all of history up until that point, everybody was black or dark skinned?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Japheth. Yeah.
Okay.
There's ecclesiastical traditions that say that Japheth was white.
Just a yes or no answer. You believe that everybody up until that point was dark skinned,
Up to what point?
not white.
I mean, up to what point? I mean, what? Like up to Noah and the flood story?
Up until one of the sons.
Well, Noah had 3 sons, right? Ham, Shem, and Japheth. He had 3 sons.
Yes. Was everybody up until the 3 sons black? How is that a hard question, Trill? Am I phrasing this wrong?
Can you phrase it? Just say it once again.
Up until his 3 sons, was everybody on the planet black or dark skinned, meaning not white?
Yeah, I think it's an easy question to answer. At least it should be.
And it's a simple yes or no answer. I don't need an explanation with it.
So it's a good question. Let me ask you a question.
Hold on. It's not it shouldn't be a good question. This should be a very simple question because you seem to be claiming that white people came from one of these 3 sons. Yes.
Yeah. I offer different opinions in the text. In my book, I offer multiple.
No answer. Why do you yes or no?
I displayed multiple arguments in the book. You know,
I'm not asking about
just as a.
I'm not asking about those arguments at the moment. We'll get to those in a second. I'm asking you that do you believe that all white people came from one of the 3 sons?
No.
You don't.
No, I don't.
Okay, where did white people come from?
Well, you got to check the ebook out. I'm not going to give it away. It's in the ebook. You know
the information in the book. The book.
Yeah, of course, I wrote it. Of course.
I'm putting a bunch of air quotes in the air. Book. So you know the information in the book. Where did white people come from?
You know what I'll do? Hold on. I'll post a free link to my book in the chat room. Hold on.
Okay, great. I'm happy for you. Relay the information. Where did white people come from?
Hold on. Do you guys have a chat room in here?
In here, let me see. How do I get that? I don't even know how to get
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I see. Yeah, I see the chat. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna post the.
I don't even know how to get this chat in here.
Well, here's the thing: if he's willing to come on here and basically discuss, you kind of think there should be at least some parts of his book he's willing to give away. I understand if he's trying to be basically a mercenary or whatever and sell his product. I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna post a free link in the chat just for you guys.
Great. I'm
But the
happy
same-
for you. I'll read it after the conversation. Where did white people come from?
Yeah, that's the name of the book. I'm gonna post a free link in the chat. 1 second.
Yes, I'm happy for you. I'm asking you a question. Oh, stocky boy.
Do you think I can try?
Try. Go ahead. There we go.
So we already established that one of Noah's sons, apparently, according to you guys, where one of them is where white people came from. Now, since one of Noah's sons was white, that means genetic-wise, you would expect there to be other people that had to be white beforehand in order to make that white person that all the white people came from. So, with that being said, do you kind of see the point I'm getting at? Basically, so do you believe that there were white people around that made that
Yeah, hello.
kid of Noah originally? Or did they just somehow magically just turn out?
Can you guys hear me? Oh, yeah, I'm getting the link right. I'm posting the link right now. Hold on.
Yes, you keep saying that, but that's going to wait until after the conversation before either one of us reads it.
We just want to answer to a really simple question. Like, were there white people around before? Or is this one child of Noah's just the first white person that's magically appeared one day? Like, is it some sort of curse of genetics?
Okay, the link's in the chat.
Great. Now, where did white people come from?
It's a 3-page it's a three-page book, so you guys can just start right at the top, read from the top. You can even post the.
Hold on. First off, the link you gave us is invalid because it doesn't pop up to anything but a blank page on Lulu. Okay. Second of all, we'll read it if we get it after the conversation.
Yeah, for now, can you just give us the...
Where did white people come from?
Yeah, you can have like a brief summary. Shoot,
I just posted the link. It came. I clicked the link. It works. The link works. Click it again.
Yeah, let's try it again. Yeah.
It's gonna redirect you to the page. Just wait a second.
I'm waiting a second. It says I do not have access to this page.
It says no. Okay, hold on.
Okay. Forget the link. We don't care about the damn link.
Yeah, you should be able to understand the
Okay, try it again. Try that link. Try it again.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I still do not have access to this page. Now, are you going to have a conversation with us, or are you going to keep playing these stupid fucking games?
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to your email. I'm gonna download it, send it to your email. Hold on.
You know what I was talking about, Trill, when I said that Gary's better at giving information?
Yeah.
Really sad.
All we want to know is something that should be quite simple. And if you don't know, you can just say you don't know.
Yeah. And the worst part is he went through the trouble writing a 3-page leaflet on information he supposedly knows, but is unable to give the information without having other people read the leaflet instead. That's sad. That means he doesn't understand the information.
What if he just reads the leaflet out loud if it's free?
Right? If he wants to do that, you know what? Fine. I'll have fun.
He has access to it. So why do we need to have access to it? You can basically have an audiobook version.
No, see, the thing is, he wants to get paid for shit like this for no reason.
Well, the thing is, even people that write books that, like, what's his face? Hugh Ross, that wrote the book "Why the Universe Is the Way It Is." Like, at least he will still talk about things. He'll be interviewed on other people's shows and stuff, like professional shows. I'm talking about like.
I once watched Aaron Raw give a talk. I don't remember how long ago this talk was.
He makes money from his things.
He makes money from his things. All right, and I think this particular talk was like a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago, and it was.
We'll have a general conversation about the general things you believe, or what your basic summary of what your book's trying to say.
Well, see,
he doesn't
Aaron Raw
still make money off of it, but you can still have conversations with other people that want to interview.
You're right. And Aaron Raw wrote a book called The Foundational Falsehoods of Creation, which I aim to read because that sounds like a good book. And he gave a talk and explained every foundational falsehood, and even he even did a video series on every foundational falsehood of creationism.
Here's the thing.
Okay, you should have the link. You should have the link in your email.
Okay,
great. Are you
trying to
say a question now?
Stuff from the top. Read stuff from the top.
I'm not reading your shit for you. Do you understand the shit that's in there?
Let me know if you got the link.
I told you I'll read whatever you give me, these leaflets, because I'm not going to read a 3-page leaflet on the air. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Did you understand the information that you put in the leaflet?
You should be able to summarize what you've written. Like, for instance, going back to Pin's example, that guy that wrote that book was able to at least summarize certain points that were in his book without going to full detail and basically spoiling the whole book. We're not asking you to spoil your entire thing, go into extensive detail. You should build.
Did you get it? Hold on. Did you get it before I talk about that? Did you get it?
I'll check my email when the show.
Yeah, check it right now. Check it right now.
No, I am not checking it right now. I am checking it after the show is off. We're having a conversation. We have at least one viewer. I'm not wasting their time. I'm sorry. Did you understand the information in the leaflet?
Yeah, I wrote it, so I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, where did my people come from?
Yeah, this was a short version. Holy crap! That shouldn't be something that's so essential to your book that you can't ever give it away, even in like non-professional interviews.
Here, try what professional writers do. Try to condense it into one sentence. Where did white people come from?
I don't want to give the book away. That's why I want you to read it. You know what I mean?
Okay, now you're making me believe that you don't know what the fuck you are talking about.
Here's the thing: by not giving it away, you look like you don't know what you're talking about.
You're breaking up real bad, buddy.
Well, let me know. Let me know if you got the link, if it's sent properly, so I can send it again if you don't get it.
I will check my email after we're done here. If that's a problem, you're just going to have to get the fuck over it. Now, if you're unwilling to talk about this topic, then you need to say so, and we can move on.
Yeah, let's move on from that.
Okay, great. Where else should we go?
Well, let's think about the whole Isaiah chapter 7 thing. I don't know how familiar you are with the Bible.
I've read it 3 times, but I did not study it, and I did not memorize any part of it. What does Isaiah say?
It's a popular Christian verse that they try to say Emmanuel is another name for Jesus, and that was a fulfillment of Emmanuel being born to a virgin.
Okay, great. Failed prophecy. What about it?
Well, if you do the history, you know that verse is not talking about Jesus. It's talking about Isaiah's son, the biblical patriarch, Isaiah's son, one of the prophets in the Bible. Yes. Emmanuel was Isaiah's son. You can find that in 80065, the Strong's in the Blue Letter Bible. It tells you that Emmanuel was Isaiah's son, not Jesus the Christ.
Okay.
So it says the virgin shall be with child. It just means a young woman she's going to be with child, not an actual virgin. Not a child.
Hold on. Two things is I already know this. Okay, I watched Aaron Ross talks too. I already know this. The second thing is you don't have to convince me that Jesus didn't exist. I already agree with you on that.
Well, I mean, yesterday we were talking. There were Christians in the room, like Sorrel, and your buddy Antichrist. So, it's part and parcel for me to explain that. But I guess not tonight, not in this particular talk, because there's no Christians here. So,
well, Christian Anarchist is in the chat. You want me to try?
Oh, he's in the chat. Okay.
Now, okay, but since he's not,
how many people in the chat room?
Looks like 2 people. Now,
2 people. Are.
Now, if you want me to try and get him in here, I will do that. But until then, let's move on from that point because you don't have to convince me that Jesus didn't exist. I already agree with you. But he did ask me to ask you about this, and I actually want to know about it myself. Is it true that GMS holds that rape is okay?
No, rape's not okay. No.
Okay. Is there any circumstance in any case that rape is okay?
No, in fact, when you find a damsel, when you find a woman that you like, when you go to war, like if after you go to war, that woman has to chop her nails off and cut her hair off in mourning, and you can't even touch that woman until the time of mourning is fulfilled. Which is a dispensation of time, a period of time.
Okay, so after
rape is not good.
After mourning, you can touch her all you want.
Yeah, you can touch her. Yeah, after that, because she got captured in war, she was a spoil of war. Okay, but she has to go through the mourning process.
Hold on, she's captured in war, meaning that she did not go with you willingly. And then
right,
you can touch her. You can touch her all you want after that, meaning rape her, because she doesn't have your consent. She went with you unwillingly, which means in that case, rape is okay.
Yeah, if you want to call that rape, yeah.
Well, there is no calling it rape. That's the definition of rape. Okay. So rape is okay.
I mean, in that context, I guess you could say yes.
Why is that okay?
Well, let's get that story. We can read that story. Hold on.
All you have to do is tell me why that's okay. I don't need a lengthy story or explanation. All you have to do is tell me why that's okay. Frankly, when you tell me that bullshit, you're wasting my time. All you have to do is give a simple answer.
I'm in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, I didn't. Why is rape okay? How hard is that?
Okay, 1 second. I'm going to do chapter 21. Hold on.
Is this going to tell me why rape is okay? Are you really having trouble bringing the book of Deuteronomy up?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes. Are you really having trouble bringing the book of Deuteronomy up?
Okay, it says, hold on.
What do you mean? Are you really reading this on the computer? Do you not have a Bible in front of you? I do, and I'm a fucking atheist, dude. Let me pull it up.
My audio keeps going out. Can you read Deuteronomy chapter 21, start at verse 12, please?
Deuteronomy?
Yeah, 21, start at verse 11.
Before I do that, is this going to tell me why rape is okay?
Yes.
Let's see here. Where the hell is it? Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, but my audio keeps going in. I can't read it at the same time. I have to keep clicking my audio back in.
Do you really
on
not
on the switchboard?
Do you really not have a Bible in front of you?
Go to Deuteronomy chapter 21, start at verse 10.
I asked you, do you really not have a Bible in front of you?
No, I don't. I'm on my laptop. Start at verse 10.
I'm getting there. I'm trying to find the book because I didn't memorize the order of the books.
Yeah. Hopefully you got a King James version.
I don't think it matters. They're all the same.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 21, start at verse 10.
I'm going to start from the beginning because I don't take shit out of context. 21, right?
Yeah.
How long is this fucking chapter? Because I'm not reading a fucking page. Oh, my Jesus. Okay, everything up until verse 10 is basically talking about...
Yeah, it's talking about other things. Just start at verse 10 is the point.
I want to know what it's in the same chapter. Context.
Yeah, start at verse 10.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, what'd you say?
I said it's in the same chapter, probably has some context, so I'm going to read it.
Okay, go ahead. Yes. Do whatever you want to do, man. Hello?
Okay, yeah, it's basically talking about elders and war, big deal. All right, let's see. I'm reading silently because people don't like to hear people read. Where do you want me to go to until the end?
Start at verse 10.
Yes, I asked you where you want me to get to. The end?
Verse 10 to verse 14.
Oh, Lord.
Hello?
Hold on. Okay. Are you intentionally wasting my time?
Start at verse 10 for the people, please.
No, I asked you a question. Are you intentionally wasting my time?
Okay, what?
Okay. For the people who are watching, in case you don't know, Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 20, not 21, chapter 21, verse 10 through 14 does not tell you why rape is okay. It literally just restates what he already said, how rape, what the circumstances where rape is okay. It doesn't tell you why it's okay to do that. It just literally rephrases what he said. So are you going to tell me?
Yeah, it says in verse 11, my audio keeps going now. You got to read it for me. Start at verse 10.
I just told you what it said because you can't do that. It literally just restated what you already said. It didn't tell me why it is okay to rape somebody in that circumstance. Why is that okay?
But you do agree it says that, right?
Yes, I agree that it says that, but that's not what I asked you because you already told me that information. You wasted my time. Why is it okay?
Because God said it's okay.
So it's okay because God said so.
That's right. Yeah.
So
God makes the rules, man.
So fuck all with what this woman thinks. Fuck all with how she feels about the situation. Fuck all that she just lost whoever she lost and is in mourning. No, you're allowed to
She's a
rape
spoil of war. That's called spoils of war.
So you're allowed to take a human being as a spoil of war.
The Most High himself, he said he's a man of war, didn't he?
Okay, that's not what I asked.
Do I have to show that? Do I have to show that to you in the scriptures? He's a man of war. The Most High Yahweh is a man of war.
I don't give a shit. Answer the question.
So if you were in that woman's shoes, would you like that?
The Most High is not.
Do you see why this is just because he said so? Right?
Would you feel all right if you were in that woman's shoes?
Yeah.
Well, this is about a Gentile woman.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer the question.
No. Answer the question. Would you feel the same? Would you feel okay with it if you were in her shoes?
I'm an Israelite, so you can't do that to another Israelite. Only to a Gentile woman.
Stop dodging the question and answer it.
Here, It's a hypothetical. Pretend, let's say, for this hypothetical, you were not an Israelite, and you were the spoil of war.
Would you be okay with it?
The Most High doesn't care about any other nation but Israel.
I didn't care. I don't care. Answer the question. How would you feel if you were in her situation?
Yeah.
Would you feel bad, mad, sad, happy, glad? How would you feel? We're going
It's a
back.
vain question.
No, it's not. It's a very simple and honest question. How would you feel? I'm sorry we have to go back to preschool for this, but how would you feel?
I know you live in. I know you live in the 21st century, which is a post-war century. But war is not kind, man. War's not kind.
I am aware.
It's not nice, man.
I don't care. You're not answering the fucking question. How would you feel?
This isn't about whether war is not kind or not. We understand that bad things sometimes have to happen. But so
let me ask you this: how would you feel? How would you feel if it was your sister or your daughter or your mother? How would you feel?
My people experienced that in slavery. Black people experienced all that in slavery. They raped our ancestors. They stole us from our land. They stole our goods. All that.
I'm glad. I'm happy for you. Answer the fucking question. Are you going to answer the question or keep dodging?
That's still not an answer. How would you feel?
Well, the answer is I don't know because I'm not a woman. I don't know how I will feel because I'm not her. I'm not a woman.
Okay, we're not talking about if you were a woman. We're asking if you were in her shoes. With your mind, how would you feel about it?
Some sort of idea. I mean, shoot, it's not like women are like a totally different alien species or anything.
You're under 100. How would you
feel? Yes, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel. I don't know. I don't know how I would feel. You know?
You really don't know how you would feel if you were raped.
Well, hey, at least that's an answer.
That's why the scriptures say in Amos that woe to you who desire the day of the Lord, because there's darkness rather than light. The day of the Lord is darkness, man.
I'm happy.
It's not a good day.
I'm glad.
You might not know how you would feel, but let me at least maybe give you a bit of a suggestion. I don't think they would like that very much.
Yeah, try having a little bit of empathy. It helps. So you're telling me that it is okay to rape somebody and take them against their will?
Just read it in Deuteronomy. I just put the description. It says exactly that, right?
Okay. So you mentioned earlier about your people and your history, your people's history. Right. They were raped and killed and enslaved and all that stuff. How do you feel about that in your people's history?
Well, yeah. The tables are going to be turned, and
that's not what I asked. Answer the fucking question. How do you feel about that in your history?
Let's go to the book of Baruch chapter 4.
No, answer the question. I want to know your thoughts. How do you feel about that being in your people's history? How does that feel?
Well, we went into captivity for breaking God's laws.
I don't care. I don't care. Answer the question. How do you feel about it? Are you angry about it? Hello.
Of course, we're angry about it. I don't know if you heard of the Black Hebrew Israelites, but
I don't care.
That's all.
All you have to say is you're angry about it. Now, would you not expect a woman to feel the same way?
Yeah.
It's a simple question. Would you not expect her to feel the same way?
Of course, rationally, yes. Of course, rationally speaking.
Okay, so
yeah.
Why is it okay to make her feel that?
Why is it what?
Why is it okay to let her feel angry because you're raping her?
Because the Bible says it's okay.
Okay, what? I think that's a fair answer, but what gives the Bible any sort of authority?
No, that's what the scripture says. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 20 tells you that the other nations, gods.
Stop. I asked you what gives the Bible any authority, and you immediately went to the Bible, meaning you're telling me that the Bible gives itself authority. That does not work. That's circular reasoning. I want you to give me a reason why the Bible has any authority. Take your time. I know it's difficult.
You don't think he can do it?
I don't think
he's finally realized the whole.
Well, that's why the scriptures say that the fool in his heart says in his heart that there's no God.
Okay, I've always liked that sentence. The fool says in his heart that there is no God. It doesn't exactly say who is a fool. It doesn't say what kind of fool they are. It doesn't say if they're a fool because there is no God. Doesn't say if there is a fool. It's not clear at all.
Plus, what you're taking, plus that particular scripture is actually a song. It's just David's feelings. Doesn't mean it's actually true. That's a psalm. That's from the whole book of Psalms. David made a whole bunch of songs.
But again, you went
objective. Let's go to the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 6.
No, stop. Go to the Bible one more time. I'm just going to kick you whether you run out of points or not, because I told you that the Bible cannot give itself authority. Where does the Bible get its authority from?
Well, it's a bestseller, so I think it's you know, good to open it up and look at it.
So is Harry Potter. What gives the book any authority?
God.
Okay, how do you know that?
What do you mean, how do I know that?
How do you know God gives the Bible any sort of authority?
Through studying the book. Studying the book.
Which book? I already know the answer, but which book?
The Bible. The Bible.
Okay, so the Bible has authority because God gave it authority, and you know that because the Bible says that God said it.
That's closer to reason.
Okay, again.
Okay, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 2. We did yesterday. Let's go there.
No, you're going back to the Bible again. You can't use the Bible. Yeah. How do you know that? How does the Bible
make it worse?
Without using any circular logic whatsoever, how does the Bible have any authority? You're under 50, by the way.
Well, that's why Jeremiah 16:19 says, "The nation shall."
You're doing it again. You're doing it again.
Hang on.
Are you?
Well, let me make you discuss. We're a Bible-based group, so if you want to debate me, you can't come up.
I don't care what you are. Can you give me an example outside of the Bible that gives the Bible authority?
Yeah, the Quran. The Quran gives credence and authority to the Torah, the Tanakh, and the prophets. The prophets.
Okay, so the Quran. You're telling me that the Quran says that the Bible is the word of God and it has authority over us, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But they say it's been tampered with, so we needed a new book. But they do follow the Torah and the Old Testament and the New Testament.
You're under 20. Okay.
Even the Quran also talks about how the Most High, Allah or Yahweh favored Israel. It's the same thing in the Quran, that he favored Israel above all other people.
Great. You know who else?
Which is in the Quran as well.
You know who else is in Israel? Muslims. Now, what can you show me? What can you show me that gives the Bible any authority?
You ever heard of Grox 1 on YouTube?
Okay. I asked you to show me something, not ask me if I know YouTube channel.
Well, I'm sure you've heard of Grox 1 by now. I'm sure you've heard of his channel.
No, I have not. I don't care. You did not answer the question. You have 2 points left, so make this good. Can you show me something outside of the Bible that tells me that the Bible has authority?
Well, that's why it's called the scriptures. It's a script. So if you study Grox's work, you know that everything that happens is laid out by the Bible. You know, and everything that happens on this earth is laid out by the Bible, and it's according to the biblical text.
Okay. You went right back to the Bible. That's circular reasoning again. You haven't been able to tell me why the Bible has any sort of authority. You believe that rape is okay, which makes you a highly immoral and highly stupid fucking person. I'd like to see you try and do that shit because you'll be locked up in prison where you would belong. Okay? You dropped the Hitler argument because you made a claim that Hitler was Jewish, which you weren't able to show. Even the information that you gave me, I was able to show you in your own information where you were wrong. You're supposed to read your leaflets for you because you apparently don't know the information that are in those leaflets. And you wanted to talk. You brought up the conversation about where did white people come from, but refused to talk about that topic unless we read your entire leaflet on air, which I will not do. Okay. We also ended up agreeing on the fact that Jesus doesn't exist, which makes the first topic of conversation a waste of time. I'm saying all this because you are now at a negative 7 points, which means the conversation between you and I, at least, is over. I don't want to hear anything else. So I'm going to let you talk to Christian if he's willing. I'm going to reset your points to 100 and 100 only. If you drop down to 100 after that, you will be kicked from the room. Are we clear?
Cool.
All right, Christian, he's all yours.
Okay. I mean, again, I'm just still trying to figure out, out of the whole thing. Mostly I just came to listen and offer maybe some points. But as far as me directing a general conversation, I guess it still goes back to Jesus. How does he have born once, apparently, according to that statement, and then not born again in the sense of the baptism kind of sense, or believer be born again aspect, but apparently saying that he had a second physical birth. So does the Bible tell us how this even happens?
He's talking to you, Stock.
Stock, are you there?
Okay, what was the question?
My question is that you say that Jesus has two birthdays, which means and indicates not just simply a born again in the spiritual sense, but that he's born again in a physical body sense. Where do we see this description in detail? Like, how does it happen according to the Bible?
I'm not sure what you're saying.
He wants to know how you can discern from the Bible that Jesus had two birthdays.
Well, not just simply that, but how to be born physically again.
Oh, he doesn't actually believe that. He thinks it's a logical fallacy in the Bible, which proves that Jesus didn't exist.
So wait, so hold on a second. So
yeah, we were all wrong last night because he couldn't effectively explain his point or what he was thinking, but we all thought that he believed that Jesus literally had two birthdays.
I sent you mixed pen of free copies. You can just send it to Christian.
I don't care. You're not talking about
it. We don't care about you could show us that all you want, but we're in a conversation right now. I've written essays. I don't have to say, here, go read my essay on this website. I say.
Also, it sounds like he's driving, which means it's unsafe for him to read.
Yeah, that too.
I asked somebody mixed pinks to send you a copy. I sent him a free copy so he can just send it to you.
Okay. Send free copy. How about you give an argument?
Yeah, give an argument. You're losing 15.
So let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
No, answer his first. No, Christian, don't. Answer his first.
Yeah, can you reiterate the question? I didn't understand what you said. I couldn't understand what you're saying.
How can you determine? How do you determine that Jesus in the Bible had two birthdays? That's his
question. I understand. My original question was about the physical born thing, but you clarified. He doesn't believe that. I understand where he believes that Jesus had two birthdays, and we actually just refuted that last night in regards to the two birthdays because of the understandings of certain textual variants that are within a text, and this does not remove from the, at least according to my view as a Christian, and arguing as a Christian that holds that the Bible is infallible, that this does not remove biblical infallibility or biblical inerrancy. So my point is simply that we have two different approaches on this. So, okay, I guess that if you just don't believe that Jesus didn't exist, then you're part of GMS, aren't you?
Oh, I hope that was him falling out again from a few minutes.
Yeah. Might have just been a connection here.
This is weird, Trill. I've never had anybody go to 0 from 300 before.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, he does have a one thing.
I knew something was off when he said that he didn't believe in the rape doctrine, because unlike him, the Tahar guy, the founder of GMS, he'll out loud say and believe, affirm it. He won't be afraid to call it rape.
I think it was intensely hilarious that so he described the scenario and I said, so rape, and he said, well, if that's what you want to call it.
Exactly.
I mean, is that not the literal definition, taking somebody against their will and having sex with them?
That's
rape, right?
it.
Yeah, okay. That's so.
Yeah. And there's that the brother of mine, what is it? He's done, I think, an introduction to the origin of that of where they got that doctrine from, and I think the refutation of that particular view that they have. But it mostly stems from when the Hebrew Israelites started in like the late 70s, and this guy Tahar was a part of the original group. They were preaching basically like, we're gonna be raping these we're gonna be raping the white women just like they were raping our black women. That basically it's pettied from the nationalist emotionalism.
Yeah, and yeah, black people were enslaved in the United States and most of Europe for, I don't know, like 400 years, maybe a little less than that. I don't know. Okay.
Mhm.
But they act like they were the only people enslaved at that time, before or after.
Yeah.
And they weren't. Okay. That's not in any way to diminish what happened, but they do make that claim that, oh, you guys did this to us. I've had people tell me that, oh, your people did this to me. Motherfucker, no, I'm Irish. They did it to me too. The Europeans enslaved the Irish people. When we came over to the United States, we weren't able to get jobs. They discriminated against us in the same way that they discriminated against black people, Indians, the Chinese, Native Americans. It doesn't matter. They discriminated us against the same way. We weren't able to get jobs. We weren't able to live in certain places. When we were still in Ireland, they took over our country, enslaved us, took our women when they were married, raped them, took our women when they wanted to anyway. I mean, it's in no way meant to just diminish what happened to the black people. It's still significant, but I mean, they can't make that claim that it only happened to them, because it didn't.
Yeah. Well, they have their own weird interpretation of history. That's the unfortunate thing. I forget what the book is called, but I know there was a book that was written around the time of like the 80s or the late 70s from some guy who basically wrote what's considered like the definitive looking into research book on what Hebrew Israelites believe, because it's from some guy that basically tried to push about the early hypothesis that Jews were Israelites in the biblical time areas were actually black people, and then all other kinds of interesting theories that popped up.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I really don't know.
None of us know whenever we got these kinds of guys involved.
Let me see something real quick. I want to see something real quick.
Alrighty.
Okay, he sent me his 3-page leaflet. I'm going to look over this real quick. If he's not back in here by the time I'm done, I'm going to guess that he ran away like the coward bitch that he is. But let's take a look here.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. If you hear me screaming, it's probably because I just died.
The biblical origin of man starts with the biblical patriarch Noah, who had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Way to state the obvious. Okay. Apparently Japheth was white. Oh man, I mean, this is really, really not saying
What?
anything. It's really not saying anything.
Then what? What is the leaflet even entitled?
Well, the title that's on the page here is white or black.
And okay. I think he just sent you what I would assume is like a leaflet track of who is the true Israelites, are they white or black? I think because when normally they start off with the Shem and Joseph set, they're going into trying to talk about like what colors of their skin they were. At least that's normally what I've seen whenever that kind of conversation goes on.
Oh, yes. Can you guys see what I have up there?
I can't. It's too small on my end.
Well, I'm sure you're probably on a cell phone, right? Anyway, let's see. The children of Sam or Shem settled in the center of the earth, which is a really weird way to put that, which is between Setidma, I don't know how to say that, and the sea, and between Yemen and Syria. Allah made the prophets from them, revealed the books to them, made them beautiful, gave them a black complexion, luminous and free of blemishes. The children of Ham settled in the south. Allah gave them a black complexion and gave them this black complexion, which he repeated because he doesn't know how to fucking write. Luminous and blemish free. The children of Japheth settled in Saffron toward the north. They are light-skinned and very fair-skinned, which literally means light-skinned. So he repeated himself. What a total fucking amateur, right? You see, the scholar Tabari records Shem and Ham, the sons of Noah, as black, but Japheth as white. Also a tradition according to which both the Shemites, and the descendants of Ham were black. Japheth, being the only white son of Noah, is found in rabbinic, is that how you say that? Hebrew tradition as well. It reads as such. Noah brought his sons and his grandsons, and he blessed them with their several settlements, and he gave them as an inheritance all the earth. He especially blessed Shem and his sons, black but comely. Comely? Really? Comely means ugly. Does he know that? And he gave them inhabitable earth. He blessed Ham and his sons, black like a raven. And he gave them as an inheritance the coast of the sea. He blessed Japheth and his sons. They entirely white. Coming right from the ghetto, they entirely white, son. And he gave them for an inheritance the desert and its fields. These are the inheritance with which he endowed them with, which he endowed them. Okay, learn how to write, dude. Which is weird to say because apparently Japheth went to the north, which I guess you could assume would be Europe, which is mostly not desert. So that's weird. Prior to the excavation of the Suez Canal, Africa was landlocked with Israel, which is the Levant. I don't know what that means. There is a religious phenomena taking place in America called Black Hebrew Israelitism, which pretty much says that some blacks whose ancestors came through the transatlantic slave trade are... Okay, that's just talking about that shit. Who gives? The Muslims said they were living in great numbers to the south of the desert, a people cursed of God and predestined as slaves. Sure, the Muslims, also called the Western Sudan, which means the tribes of Israel, blah, blah, blah. The curses were put on God's people. The Israelites can be read in Deuteronomy, blah, 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 blah. Okay, he's just talking about the future of the Israelites.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he lied to us earlier, Trill. Remember when I asked him directly if he thought that white people came as one of the descendants of one of Noah's 3 sons, and he said no? Apparently that's what he believes.
Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know. I wish he'd come back. I wanted to ask him what he thinks about mixed people.
Yeah, I'm gonna check my messages with him one more time.
He'll think that mixed people will be, they have some inheritance in the from the tribe that they have, but someone just intermingled with someone else, and
Hey, cool. That means I'm half king.
yeah.
All right, so I guess he's not coming back. It's been almost 10 minutes now, so here's what I'm going to do. Take a look at this shit. Okay. I'm going to present to everyone because I'm an asshole, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to reply to his shit there. I'm going to say, I guess you ran like the bitch you are. Thanks for the conversation that is almost as bad as your writing.
Oh,
You
wow.
can block or delete comments as you wish, but this is already, if I can remember how to spell broadcast, to everyone for all to see.
There you go, man. You don't just run. I mean, there
Learn-
could have been something wrong with his internet, but whatever.
Learn your information. Learn how to give information. Learn how to do research. Learn how to do research and learn how to write a quotation marks book.
Are you going to send him the link to this?
You know what?
So you can never escape it.
I think I will do that too. Let's see, copy and paste. There we go. I guess you ran like the bitch you are. Thanks for the conversation that is almost as bad as your writing. You can block, delete, or you can block or delete comments as you wish, but this is already broadcast to everyone for all to see. Learn your information, learn how to give information, learn how to do research, and learn how to write a quotation marks book. Have fun with the link to this video.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, now you know not to waste your time with that guy anymore. I mean, seriously, we already had a one-on session. You can't get like pretty much anywhere with him.
Yeah, maybe he'll learn to do the stuff that I told him to learn, and if he ever has the balls to challenge me again, because he asked for this conversation. Am I still screen sharing?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I might as well show that real quick. Oh, I don't have it up. Never mind.
I'm also on my laptop.
Yeah, I'll just stop. Yeah, I was gonna show where in that thread on his video he asked for this conversation. So, I mean, he wanted it, he got it, and I was way more lenient with him than I would have been with anybody else because I just wanted to have fun.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Thank you anybody who's watching for watching. We appreciate it. Leave tickle that like button, subscribe if you're new, hit that notification bell. Check out tickle that tickle all of it. Tickle all of it. Check out Christian Anarchist's YouTube channel. He does the Ask Christian Anarchist weekly podcast conversation thing that I usually show up on whether I have a conversation or not because I'm a nuisance. But check him out. He's cool. Check Thaddeus Trilla. You could check out his YouTube or his SoundCloud. He does music. I guess people think it's good. I don't know why. I see people are just joining. I'm sorry, but I guess the conversation's over. He ran. Go ahead and watch the video. Is going to be up immediately. Watch it back. It's
Actually, it takes a while for the video to process.
What's that?
It takes a while for the video to process once you've gone live, so they might not be able to see the whole conversation yet.
Oh,
but if they were for like
an
hour or so, then they can see the conversation.
Yeah, come back and watch it. It ended up being interesting. I'm not going to say it was a good conversation, but it was interesting. But yeah, whatever. But thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys next week. And remember, I only half love you because you're adopted.